I'm about to give you the biggest advantage to beating every competitor in your industry, and almost nobody's using it. Most businesses are stuck slashing prices, stressing over ad costs, and burning out just to survive. But the fastest growing companies don't play that game. There's one overlooked lever that decides who dominates every market, and if you ignore it, you're going to keep bleeding money while your competitors scale past you without breaking a sweat. In this video, I'm going to show you the hidden growth lever that lets a handful of companies outspend, outgrow, and outlast everyone else. And once you see it, you'll understand why chasing cheap leads or perfect ads is just a distraction compared to this one move. So I own a supplement company, and we used to sell our product for $49 a bottle, which was great, except for the fact that our CAC, our cost to acquire a customer, was $75, and actually still is $75 to this day. So the result was we were actually losing $26 on every sale. And that's not sustainable. It's not possible to operate a business where you're losing money every single time. And that didn't even include our COGS. That didn't even include the cost of actually producing the product and shipping the product. That was just on the ad. So we had two options. We could either figure out a different way to market our product or figure out how to make at least $75, preferably more, for every sale. The way we were marketing was actually making sales. It just wasn't bringing in enough revenue per sale. So I asked myself, how can we increase the amount of money that every customer spends the first time they make a sale? Because we did know that our lifetime customer value was over $200. So the thought was that if we can get them in at a price that we don't lose money on in the front end, then we're gonna make all of that money back in the back end. So I decided, why not just sell them more product? When we started marketing, we only had one option on the website where you could just buy one bottle for $49. So I thought, okay, well, why don't we just create more packages where they can just buy the same product but in bigger quantities. I created a package that was buy 3, get 2 free for $199, and another one that was buy 2, get 1 free for $129 or something like that. And automatically, people started buying the buy 3, get 2 free. Now, the reason that this happened was twofold. First of all, we made it the default package. So when they go to the website, what we actually found was that most of the time people will buy whatever the default selection is. Then we also added some additional upsells. We added a bottle of fiber, and we added all these different things that, how can we increase the average order value? The result ended up being our average order value jumped from $49 all the way up to $105, which is where it still sits. So now, instead of losing $26, we actually make $30 on every single package that we sell on the front end. But then we added another thing. We added a subscription model. So now our lifetime customer value for non-subscribers is $200, but our lifetime customer value for subscribers is $350. And we're making $30 on the front end, which means that we're actually able to continue advertising without losing money because this covers all of our front end expenses. What you have to understand is that in business, whoever is willing and able to spend the most to acquire a customer will always win. And what that means is that we can now advertise in places that our competitors, who are only selling bottles for not even $49, because $49 is actually a pretty expensive product for this market. A lot of our competitors are selling a competing product for $25, $35, but I know there's no possible way that they can advertise where we advertise. And as a result, we have grown so crazy and we've actually overtaken a lot of our competitors. Because when you actually position yourself so that you can spend more than all of your other competitors to get a customer, you're always gonna win. It makes advertising easier. It makes it so that your profit margins aren't as razor thin, because having a razor thin profit margin is crazy, crazy stressful. When I was selling a product called Social Media Marketing for Lawyers Masterclass, I was selling it for $50,000. At that point, cost to acquire a customer doesn't matter because my margins were like 95%, right? I made like $45,000 every time I sold because it cost me about $5,000 to get a customer. So the other cool thing is that when you position yourself so that you can spend more money to acquire a customer, it makes it so that smaller competitors really can't keep up with you. It protects your market share and it allows you to grow faster because you're making more money on every sale. So how do you actually do this? What's the actual strategy? With my marketing agency, we actually did this same approach. We were selling marketing services for lawyers, and that's all we were doing. And we're charging $1,500 a month with no contract. Our advertising was very, very expensive, and not only that, we didn't have a great lifetime customer value because we didn't tie our clients up with a contract. So the first thing we did is we automatically increased our lifetime customer value by making all of our deals have a 12-month contract. Now, instead of $1,500 a month, it was $1,500 a month for 12 months, which is actually $18,000 right there. So we knew that the majority of our customers, because obviously not everybody finishes a contract, the majority of our customers were now going to spend significantly more money. This made advertising a lot easier because of the fact that we increased that lifetime customer value. But we didn't want to stop there because $1,500 a month isn't that much money, especially when you're trying to grow a company and spend money on advertising and hire people and just account with all the stuff. Plus, I wanted to make more money. So I started asking, what else do they need? So we did website and SEO, but what other services do law firms need from a marketing agency? They could use social media advertising. They could do PPC advertising. So by adding those services on, that allowed us to make more money per month per customer. So the strategy that you have to ask yourself is, what are the other problems that they have? And also, what problems are created as a result of them hiring your company? For us, every single solution has created new problems for our clients. They're good problems, but they're still problems. At first, they don't have leads, right? So we're gonna sell them a solution to get them leads. Now they have lots of leads, but they're missing clients because they don't have good intake. Okay, so we help them with their intake. We actually started a virtual assistant company so they can hire virtual assistants to answer their phone. We coach them on how to get better at sales. So now they've got lots of leads and they got lots of clients, but now the next problem is the lawyers are working 90 hours a week because they've got so much business and they don't know how to hire people. Okay, cool. So what if we create a fractional COO program that helps them hire people, helps them hold their team accountable, helps them, make sure that their team is actually doing the things that they're supposed to, helps them build SOPs, all those types of things. So that's another service we can add on. Now, the next thing that we notice is that a lot of times their bank account doesn't seem to grow. Has that ever happened to you where you're making more money, but your expenses are going up too like crazy? It's like, where did all the money go? Well, lawyers are not immune to that. So in response to that, we created a fractional CFO program and a bookkeeping service. So as a result of this, the evolution has taken us from selling a $1,500 a month package under no contract to now many of our clients on average pay us $5,500 per month, and they have a 12-month agreement. And this allows us to advertise more, to outspend our competition, to provide better results for our customers, if we're being honest, because now we're actually solving the problems that they need, and it allows us to grow like crazy because, as I said, whoever is willing to and able to spend the most to acquire a customer will always win. So that is why our company has been in the Inc. 5000 in the top 700 for the last 4 or 5 years in a row. So if you can do that for your business, if you can figure out how can I not slash my prices, but how can I afford to spend 3 times more than I'm spending right now to acquire a customer and do so profitably, you will win every single time.